But companies spend over $500 billion a year on employee experience, but the leave experience is often overlooked.
And so while they can get away with murder now, at one point, employees just won't take it. They won't accept the behavior.
We've seen in the early stages. We want to make compliance table stakes, and we want to make sure that we keep people compliant. A parental leave is much different from a bereavement leave.
Good point.
How HR shows up and how they support their employees is really going to vary based on the reason why they're taking leave.
This is William Tidcup with Work Defined. Ryan said we are good to start, so I guess that means we're good to start. Listen, we're at HR Tech in Vegas, and it's fascinating because this is the largest I've seen it in a long time. 458 vendors, 90 startups, it's insane. You go out there and there's just a nice energy to it that I haven't seen in a couple of years. So, Brandon, do me a favor, introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon Salisbury, I'm the CMO with a company called Tilt, Babs in Spanish.
I love Tilt. All right, so tell us what you do. What is Tilt all about?
Yeah, so Tilt is a leave experience platform. We really help HR leaders meet them where they are and how they want to manage leave. We help keep them compliant, help their payroll stay accurate, and make sure that their employees have a good experience that helps deepen the relationship with the company.
Well, one of the things is leave is like payroll, it's like compliance, and it's a part of compliance as well. It's not sexy, but it's where you can get really, really twisted up fast.
For sure.
By
Absolutely.
not managing it.
Yeah.
So you either manage it or it manages you.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to somebody earlier about this part of compliance. It's like, listen, there's a whole lot of things you can do proactively and manage these things. Or you can do them in lawsuits afterwards.
Yeah.
Which way would you like to do this, right? So tell us a little bit about the leave, what's kind of going on in leave management these days.
Yeah, exactly what you mentioned. You can manage it one of two ways, and oftentimes we think about the compliance and the punitive aspect of managing leave. But really, what we're on a mission to do is make leave a little bit more than that. We want to make compliance table stakes, and we want to make sure that we keep people compliant. But companies spend over $500 billion a year on employee experience.
Yep.
But the leave experience is often overlooked.
Oh, 100%.
So you think about
or an afterthought at best.
Yeah, at best, for sure. And so you think about those critical life moments where employees are vulnerable and they're going through trying times. And a lot of times those opportunities to deepen that relationship and support your employees are outsourced to a vendor. And you're not involved in the process anymore. And so we want to help HR reclaim those critical life moments.
And we live in interesting times. So we all know it. We all understand the dynamics and kind of things that are going on. That all kinds, it's a pendulum, right? It's one of those things that kind of comes back and forth. And I think right now it's an employer-driven market. And so they got the feast of the candidates that they want, basically can make them do whatever they want. In the hiring process and even in the employee process, they have the power.
Sure.
But they won't have the power all the time.
Absolutely.
And so while they can get away with murder now, at one point, employees just won't take it. They won't accept the behavior.
Yeah.
And it's like these things are important to us. Do you see that as a generational thing? Like, are you all tracking and seeing different generations and how they look at leave?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely part of it. I think even the types of leave that are taken are somewhat generational. So you think about like certain population, they've got aging parents and they've got certain caregiving leaves that they might take. You've got younger generations on parental leaves. And so even the types of leave that are taken are somewhat generational. But, to speak specifically to what you said about like kind of that pendulum, the best time to build a well is not when you're thirsty.
That's exactly right.
The experiences the employees are having today, they remember those things.
Mm-hmm.
And your employer brand is a big component of how you'll be able to recruit talent in the future.
It should keep you up at night. If you're a marketer, it should keep you up at night. And HR leader, because again, it's not just the now, these are things that are going to stick with you and stick with you in positive ways
Yeah,
if you manage it really well, and it's going to stick with you in negative ways.
absolutely.
So, do you think there's a point in which either we get to leave as just leave, and it's just not categorized? It's just you get so many days of leave, and like PTO back in the day, and you can just you can apply it towards your aging parents. You can apply it to kids in the hospital. You can apply it to whatever. Or do you think we're going to keep it segmented, like pregnancy and all the type stuff?
Yeah, I think I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'm a marketer, so
Yeah.
I don't want to read too much into that. But I think there are certain ways in which you want to support the varying types of leave, and so I don't see those categories being blended in because
Right.
a parental leave is much different from a bereavement leave.
Good point.
How
Good point.
how HR shows up and how they support their employees is really going to vary based on the reason why they're taking leave. And
That's
so
right.
I see those being segmented for a while.
The reasons create the experience, and the experience is then something that employers can do proactively.
Absolutely.
So if they have the data and they understand that you have parental leave that you're applying for, then they know what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
And so now they can adjust. Their manager can adjust. The team can adjust. Everyone can adjust to like, okay, you're going through something right now.
Yeah.
You need some time and a little bit of humanity,
Absolutely.
right? I love that.
Yeah, and I think the key to that is making sure that we help HR be present in those moments.
Right.
They're not worried about, man, I got to fill out this piece of paper.
No.
Or I got to research all these different laws because you live
No.
in a different state from me.
Yeah.
We want to remove that from their plate.
They shouldn't be thinking about that.
Absolutely.
They should be thinking about, like you said,
The person.
how do I support this person? How do I get them to thrive in a situation that it was unexpected?
Absolutely.
They got thrown in a lot of these cases, not all, but they got thrown into a situation. It's like, how do you show up for those employees? And how do you support them?
Yeah.
And sometimes the support is as easy as just calling them.
Sure.
So just reach
Check
out.
in.
Hey, I'm just checking in on how you doing.
Yeah.
Do you see AI in the future or even now as being kind of a tool to help them, remind them to do some of those things?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the future is now. We're actually leveraging AI in our own platform to help remove some of those tedious tasks. And,
Right.
it's a great tool that's underutilized, and we're still, AI is relatively new. We're still trying to figure out
Got
how.
to get the adoption.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we don't want it to replace the human element. We want it to.
No.
We want to automate the
In
tedious
fact,
stuff.
that could run you run the risk of actually offending the person
Sure.
with a generic, and everyone thinks that they're really slick with Chat GPT, and it's like pretty much you can tell when people are using Chat GPT.
Yeah, absolutely.
It kind of comes out pretty quickly, but it's like I can see AI more on the back end for both parties, reminding them of stuff.
Sure.
And then they can then do it. Not necessarily generative AI doing it for them, because I think that would, especially in your space, I think that you have more risks than rewards.
Yeah, what we want to do is we don't want AI making decisions for anybody.
Right.
But what AI is a valuable tool in is giving you the resources you need to make decisions. And like you said, reminding people there's deadlines and there's things that
Yeah.
have to be done just by
Right.
nature.
And for both parties.
Yeah.
I mean, for both HR, I guess you could even include like the team or the leader or the manager or something like that. There's a place there too. Because out of sight, out of mind on a lot of times, especially if they're remote and they're going through some type of trauma or whatever, some type of life experience, you forget.
Yeah.
They're not there. They're not on the weekly calls. They're not there. It's just like you're just going on with your life. You're forgetting that they're going on with something that's truly painful.
And I love what you said. Managers are oftentimes the ones that are overlooked in the whole leave process.
Yeah.
Not being kept in the loop on when an employee is returning or
Right.
going out, or knowing, having enough notice to know, like, hey, I've got to redistribute this work, or things like that. But also just having the resources to know they care about their people. How do I care for them? Like, what can I do and what can I not do?
I had this exact experience 100 years ago where a person was on leave, parental leave, and they came back in. And I didn't not know that they were still at the company. So it wasn't that bad. That's tragic. However, I had no idea they were coming in that week.
Yeah.
It's just like they came in, I saw them at the reception. I'm like, hey, man, how's everything going? I'm still thinking they're like another month or whatever.
Sure.
And they're like, man, I just can't wait to get back in the game. You know, been missing it, you know, and all this stuff's been great, but missing the game. It's like, all righty, yeah.
Let's get you set up. Let's go.
Did we give their desk to somebody else?
Yeah.
Do they still have an office? Huh, I'm gonna have to check on that.
Right.
So I've been blindsided like that.
Sure.
And so I'm sure every manager or leader has been blindsided by something like that. Coming back too early, coming back too late, not understanding what they're going through or been through or whatever. I can see that. So who do you go straight? Do you go direct, or do you go through partners? Like what's y'all's bid?
Yeah. How we connect with companies comes in a couple of different forms.
Right.
We do work closely with a network of brokers.
Right.
Brokers, we can be a tremendous tool in helping them help their clients. And
Yeah.
So, great network there and some great partners that way.
Oh, when you say brokers, the benefit brokers?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a good group.
yeah, a great group, and you want people who really want to take care of their clients. That's the cream of the crop.
I like business benefits brokers and HR consultants.
Yeah.
I like both parties because they already have the ears, the eyes, and the heart of the HR leader. I don't need to go build that relationship.
Sure.
They already have the relationship.
Yeah.
I just need to give them a new widget,
Yeah.
a new thing to then be able to go, hey, listen, I don't know how you're doing this currently. However, there's a better widget. And they already trust them.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have to build all of that stuff as a marketer. You got all this trust and all this stuff. You got another person that already believes in you. And yeah, they're making some money. That doesn't matter. Like people that don't understand that, are not adults. It shouldn't be leaders in a business or whatever. But I do like that group of people. I've done some conferences with both sets, different conferences, and like the consultants are always looking at ways to improve. Like they're always on the hunt for the next thing, because the HR leaders in general, they don't have time. They don't have time to learn what all of these people do. So someone coming in and saying, okay, I demoed this. We've implemented it at 3 different places. This is what it looks like. This is why I think it'd be good for you, because your process right now is manual and it's arcane and you're going to get hurt. You're going to end up on the lawsuit side, one way or another. But let's get you to where I think of homeopathic medicine. You either treat the root cause or you treat the symptoms.
Yeah.
And so if you treat the root cause, which is what y'all are doing, you're like, look, we're going to get in front of all this. It's not to say that you won't have lawsuits. We live in a litigious society. Of course, there might be lawsuits, but it's minimizing that risk.
Sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So benefit brokers, do you go through any of the other tech vendors?
Yeah, so we have some great partners. We partner with companies like Rippling, Paycor, Paylocity, Workday, and so great partnerships there as well. Where we're able to offer a truly like complete solution. Where once again, you talk about solving problems. Nobody wants to have to enter in information twice, and so having these like tight integrations, it flows back and forth, updates information in both systems.
I love that on so many levels because it decreases the errors.
Oh, for sure.
Right? If you're doing 2 different systems. I also love it that they've already got most of the data, if not all the data that you need.
Yeah.
So going in at the HRS, payroll, core HR, whatever you want to call it today, but going in at that level and then connecting with them and being in their marketplace or whatever the bid is, I love that. I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
From a data perspective. And again,
we've got information they need too, right? So in order to run payroll,
Good
you
point.
got to know the leave.
Good point.
Information.
I didn't think of it that way, but you're right.
And so having those 2 together just increases the accuracy between the 2.
Yeah, and those things are leave. I don't think most HR folks think like this, but leave to a CFO is a liability. And so you have to think of it from an accounting perspective as a liability.
Sure.
Not a liability in the bad sense of the word, but liability on your business, on your accounting system.
That balancing sheet.
Yeah, on your balance sheet, it shows up as a liability. Now, if they exercise all of those things, this is what it would cost. Okay. Most of the time, people don't exercise all of their leave.
Sure.
But to know, as a CFO, to know where you are in the process, they need to know. That's like a different audience altogether. That like their analysts and folks over there, they need to know that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
It impacts the business.
Yeah.
So if we're talking in a year from now, and we'll be right here.
Yeah.
I think the studio will be a little different, but we'll be right here. What are we talking about from a leave perspective?
Yeah,
and a tilt perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a year from now, we're just talking, we're in the infancy stages of how AI is impacting HR tech. I think as quickly as it's materialized over the last few months, you give us another year, it's going to be light years ahead. And I think we're going to really figure out how exactly it can impact HR without taking away the personalization that we've seen in the early stages.
I think what I love about y'all is it's the moments of humanization. It's like they don't need to be filling out forms.
Yeah.
That can be done. Forms need to be filled out. We need the data. Okay, got it. They need to be doing the human part of exchanging empathy, sympathy, all of those, asking questions, just being there.
Being supportive.
Yeah. My brother told me, this is a long time ago, but basically said half of life is just showing up.
Oh, I believe it.
Like weddings, funerals, all of those type of life events, babies. It's just show up.
Yeah.
You don't have to have an answer. In fact, most of the time you don't need to do anything. Just show up.
Yeah.
Show them you care.
Absolutely.
I think so true is the employee experience. They're going through whatever they're going through, positive or negative. They're going through something. Just to show up and show that you care enough to then show up. I think that's half the game for the employer brand. It's just showing up. They could have a terrible experience with their manager, with a company, or the projects they're working on, and then all of a sudden have a positive experience with HR and leave, and someone that just cared enough to reach out to them. Yeah. They like change their entire perspective of the company.
Every positive interaction is huge.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, so leave's not sexy because it's in the compliance realm. However, it's critical. So as a marketer, I'm a recovering marketer. As a marketer, how do you make something that's not sexy be sexy?
Yeah. Man, I love this question. When I first started at Till, I was like, man, I want to go on this crusade to like make leave fun, like make it at the forefront. And I think we've done a lot in that and how we talk about leave. And I think as a marketer and how you get it at the forefront is everything. And bringing awareness to just like the underlying impact that it has on your company. A lot of times you don't realize the impact of a positive or negative leave until months afterwards.
Oh, 100%. It's a lagging indicator.
Yeah, and so taking the compliance part and it really crosses over into a couple of other spheres, not just the compliance, but the employee experience, and so bringing all those things together to show the true impact on the organization.
I think leave has a rebranding issue.
Yeah, I would agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we talk about those human moments that are critical to employees, but not say leave?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you almost kind of want to cross over and say, oh, no, it's not called leave anymore. It's called this other stuff.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because you know what? Leave is your grandfather's leave. We don't need that. And I'm interested in, because it's so critical, and it's so critical on the employee experience. I think the more you talk about that to leaders and just say, listen, you don't even think about this stuff. It's a throwaway idea. It's a throwaway concept. You're not even thinking about it. However, if you want to actually create a wonderful employee experience, this is just one thing, and it's huge impact, because it's at a time that's one of those moments in their life where they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so you're not taking advantage of the vulnerability. You're actually reaching out to them and making sure that they, that they're okay.
Yeah, leave is that one of those experiences that oftentimes we hear from HR all the time. I just want to set it and forget it. I don't want to think about leave.
Right.
Man,
Set it and forget it.
Hurts my brain. Like I got all these leave laws and all these tedious things, and what we want to highlight is like just the missed opportunity, like you said, of that's an opportunity not just to deepen a relationship with an employee, but to drive retention, employee retention over time.
Right.
And the costs associated with that are huge, right? Like the cost to hire a new employee is I've seen 3x the salary of the employee at times.
And at the end of the day, it's like, why?
Yeah.
These are like I would say self-inflicted, but it's like these are things that could have been preventable.
Sure.
Like why we didn't we did it a certain way, said it. I like that. Said it and let it go. But we didn't have to. We chose to.
Sure.
All right. Last question, because you are a marketer. Tilt to leave. What's the connection?
Tilt to leave. So I love this.
Brand name versus.
So first, our brand name is an acronym. It's Talent and Leave Technology.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love that about us.
Okay.
But really, our connection to leave starts with our founder. Our founder, Jen Henderson, had multiple negative leave experiences. And finally, she's like,
I'm gonna go fix it. I'm gonna go
be the change that I want to see in the world, and I'm gonna do something about this, and that's how we got here today.
That's awesome. I will be thinking tonight about how I can bring Tilt and Leave together. That'll be on my mind. Before I go to bed, I'll be like, how does this work?
I love that.
So listen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely appreciate you, and we're out.